All right. That was a great way to start today. If you couldn't tell, my voice. All right, we're back. And we're live. Welcome back to our daily live feed. As you're logging on, if you'd like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits, and posing. All the fun stuff when it comes to competing. So, I lost my voice this weekend, if you couldn't tell. That was a beautiful way to start the live feed tonight. I got my cough drops over here, so I'm gonna do my best to get through this live feed. It's actually a little, my voice is a little bit better today than it was yesterday. Yesterday it was really bad. I could barely even talk. Much better today. So I got my cough drops to hopefully help me through the live feed. So, you know, as you guys know, I was on the live commentary for DC Pro-Am this weekend, and the hotel itself, I don't know, for those of you guys that were there, I felt like the hotel itself was very like smoky almost, or maybe it was mold or something in the air. I don't know. It's an old hotel. So from the moment I woke up on Saturday morning, like my eyes were bloodshot and everything. It was bad. I started to lose my voice that evening after the show, thankfully after the show. But yeah, it's always fun. Plus then I'm, you know, screaming for people. I was on the feed all day long, you know, all those kinds of things. So with that, before we get too far into this, if you look up here on the screen, this is our suit sale. It's the final day. It closes at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here. So if you haven't gotten your suit yet, make sure you do. I'm looking around because I got my lip gloss here somewhere. I feel like I need that. But anyway, we'll be fine. I'm just a mess today. So I think we got like 1 or 2 packages left in the suit sale. It does close at 9 p.m. tonight. So if that's something that you were interested in doing, this is it. Either do it or don't. Boom. Done. All right. So like I said, bear with me tonight because I'm going to talk through this whole, you know, situation with my voice. Again, I was like, I can't not do a wrap up today because we just did the whole live feed and everything this weekend. So how many of you guys actually logged on to the actual live stream of DC Pro-Am? How many of you guys were on the stream, or how many were there in person? I know I see Christina on here. Christina was there in person. Who was there? Who was on the live? Or who was actually there in person? And if you're on Instagram, I'll be screen sharing over on YouTube and Facebook. So if you want to go click on my bio link, the drop down in my bio link has the link to our YouTube and Facebook as well. So what's up? Yeah, for those of you that are logging on now, I lost my voice this weekend from talking and screaming so much. So as you guys know that we're on the live stream commentary this weekend, I was talking all day from 9 a.m. on. And even when I took off from the live stream, I was doing hair and makeup during that time frame, so I didn't get a break. So it was a lot for my voice, and to be screaming all day and had a long day and all that kind of stuff. So the next day I woke up and I could barely talk. So here we are today, sucking on a cough drop so I can get through this tonight with you guys. I always like to hear what people think when they actually listen to the commentary from the shows. We try to keep it entertaining. We try to keep it educational. We try to give good feedback, quality feedback when the girls and the guys are on stage. You know, we're on for the whole day. Obviously, we're on for the pros and for the NPC. So if you bought the live stream, then you can go and watch that again. Well, Rain was one of the sponsors of the show, so we had Rain all day long. So yeah, I was good to go with that. Yeah, had no problem with energy drinks. We had energy drinks till we couldn't have energy drinks anymore. I needed more water is what I needed. I went through a lot sitting there. But you can't go through too much because then you got to pee, and you can't get up from the live stream to go pee. So it's like this catch-22, right? It's a long day. It's fun though. I really enjoy it. I have a good time doing it. So I don't mind the fact that I lost my voice. It is what it is. I feel fine. I just can't talk well. It was in the back of my throat yesterday. Now it's up in my nose and in my head right now. So I think it's turned into kind of a sinus thing at this point. So hopefully I'll be all right in the next day or so. This is definitely an improvement over yesterday. No way I could have done a live feed yesterday. I couldn't talk. So with that, tonight we are going to review the results of DC Also, SoCal and Mile High as well. So we're going to go through all of those. We're going to start with SoCal. Let's see. I think that's this one right here. Okay. So I pulled up this the comparisons for this particular show because I was interested based on the photos in what I was seeing as far as the girl that took second versus some of the other girls that were in that first call out. And one of the things I really saw, and correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody else saw this or was in person or anything like that, but I felt like they really went for shape versus conditioning, which I think is good. I think that's a good thing. I'd like to see wellness do that more. Now, Lily Dong did win this. So Lily's not in this particular comparison, but this is what you're looking at, the top 6 right here without Lily in here. This girl right here took second place. This was third, 4th, 5th. Of the girls here in this lineup, the girl that took second was actually the least conditioned out of this whole group, right? So, and no, I'm not going to touch on the Europe show because I don't have any photos. I can't talk about a show if I don't have anything to go on. So, I'm happy. Like if you look at her in comparison to the girls, I would agree that she has a better wellness look specifically from the back. But she was definitely the least conditioned out of the bunch. So I was curious about that. One thing I will say is I think her shoulders were a little too broad. But in general, I think she fit the wellness category a little bit better than the other girls. But I was curious because, to me, she looks like she's less conditioned than everybody else. Excuse me. Sorry. That's going to be tonight, by the way. Sorry if I'm coughing. I'll do my best here. Like I said, trying to get through it. Yeah, we try to go into the athletes, each one a little bit and, give them good critiques that they can go off of, give them things that they can build on and work with. Right. Okay. So let's pull up. So Frida took 5th. It's the first time she's been on stage this season. Thought it was a good look for her. I just think that she wasn't quite conditioned enough. From what I can see with Frida, you get to a decent pose here. She does look like her frame is definitely fitting better with wellness now. Like she always to me looked like a little bit of like just a bigger bikini competitor. She's starting to really kind of morph into a more wellness look now. I still want to see a little bit more. I want to see a little bit more in the legs and things like that too, and a little less in the upper body. You can tell she's trying to shrink her upper body down. You got to do it to a certain extent because then you want to be able to see the waistline tight and everything like that too. I just think that her conditioning was a little bit off here. She wasn't quite ready for the show. I know she jumped into it last minute. So that was about it. The overall look was very pretty. I would just like to see a little bit tighter. Let's go to a back shot. The hard part that Frida's always going to have to deal with is that she does have longer limbs in general than most of the wellness girls. Like her legs are quite a bit longer. And her glutes step really high. She's got ridiculous calves, right? But with that, she's got to come in pretty conditioned here or else she's going to look like she's not in shape. She's full. She's nice and full and round. Definitely has a lower bottom, lower half heavy look here, all of that. She's just not quite ready for this show, I think. But still, she still plays top 5. There's nothing wrong with that. I just think she should be better when she comes back at 100%. And then, so this girl, I'm not familiar with her, Samira Walter. She has a good look, conditioned well, good shape, all of that. Had some really weird poses. Like when you look through her pictures and stuff, she did some weird, like almost women's physique-esque kind of posing here. I don't know what this is exactly. Not a fan of this. I don't know. This is like trying to be women's physique, trying to be figure kind of pose. I don't really know. Not a good idea. Not a fan of the suit at all. Really distracting. So she has some presentation details she really needs to fix here. But overall, I thought that she had a really good shape and conditioning and frame and all of that too. She just doesn't look. I mean, maybe she's from Europe or something. I don't know where she's from. I don't know. Yeah, she's from Europe. So that makes a little bit more sense as far as where her look is coming from. But it's just not what we're really looking for here in the States. She kind of needs to adjust this a little bit. Like, this is a really bad suit cut in the back. Looks like a diaper. That's the other thing too, guys. This is another reason why you don't want to do a white suit, because it can literally look like a diaper on stage. And that's what this looks like. This looks like a diaper. Hate to say it, but it does. It looks like a diaper. So you just don't want to do that, right? Hair's a little bit stringy. Again, a lot of presentation details that need some tweaking, need some fixing. Probably needs a little bit more size. But I think she might have done a little bit better in the show if she had fixed some of these presentation details, right? So hopefully she picked that up from being here in the States. That's, again, one of the reasons why we want those European competitors to come compete over here. It's a different standard. It's a different level. Lovely Lindo. She's done decent this year. I feel like she did another show. I don't see a record here. This is another one where she looks a little bit like a figure competitor trying to be a wellness competitor. Yeah, you don't want anybody saying your suit reminds them of a diaper. Absolutely not. But this, to me, looks like a figure competitor that is trying to be a wellness competitor. She's just really balanced, right? Yeah, she's got a little bit more size in her lower half. She does. But this is a very balanced frame. She's got a wide lat flare here to those cap shoulders. So she just needs to work on her shape to make it more unbalanced more than anything else. Let's see. Well, I guess we can pull up a back pose. Yeah, because even when you look at it from the back, to me, this is not a wellness frame from the back yet. It could be, but she needs more size, specifically in the glutes, right? Her lower half, her legs are okay, but her legs are very small. Or I'm sorry, her glutes are very, very small. So I don't know if she was wellness before or was figure before, but to me, that's what this looks like. It looks like she was figure. And then she tried to switch over to wellness, which I don't think is a bad idea. But at the same time, she's got to build some glutes, kind of bring down the X frame, make it more unbalanced, those kinds of things in order to make herself really a wellness competitor at this point. Let's see. And then we have Cassandra, who actually has a really great frame for wellness. She's the opposite. She definitely is wellness. You can see from the back here. Let's pull her back shot up since we got that here. She's just not conditioned enough. If she had been in condition, she probably would have given Lily a run for her money here. Well, this is a great back shot for wellness. She's just not tight enough. But this is a really good shot. She's really well balanced. This is perfect as far as that's concerned. So I think that they rewarded her regardless of the fact that her conditioning wasn't quite there, because she's got a really good shape. So you can see here, again, great wellness shape. She's just not in shape, right? She's just not conditioned. And to the comment from the last girl that we had up, there was a question here asking, would she be better off doing bikini? No, she is way too big for bikini. Way too big for bikini. No way. She'd be better off doing figure if she wanted to stay that size. Otherwise, she's got to get bigger in the legs for wellness. That was the last competitor we were talking about. But yeah, so overall, this is a good look. She just needs to be tighter. She could easily win a show if she was tighter. Okay. And then we go to Lily. So I think is it Lily or Lily? Not sure. I've been calling her Lily, and then I heard Lily, so I don't know. I could be wrong. But we knew going into the show that this was really her show to lose. So I think it was pretty clear. I mean, even looking through the comparison shots, I didn't see any of the video footage from the day or anything like that. But just looking at the comparison shots, there was even comparison shots where they didn't even have her in there. So it said to me that they had really picked her for the win regardless. I do think this was a good look for her. This is one of the better poses I've seen her do. Let's pull up some others. One thing she's going to need to pay attention to is mobility. From her back pose, she's tilted off to the side quite a bit. So you can see she's kind of pushed off to the side here. And I'm sure that's coming from being crunched up in the front pose, which will happen when you compete every single week for like a month, which is what she did. So you're going to end up having some mobility issues, things like that. You're going to have to work on and correcting. So I just really be careful with this and make sure that she can get so she's aligned better. But yeah, overall, really good balance and fullness and conditioning and everything from the back. She's going to be on the smaller side as far as a competitor is concerned, but she has a really well put together package. So, and I've said this before, I'm happy to see that she qualified. I'm happy to see that she got this win. And even this, like I've kind of critiqued her front post before as far as her arms kind of flailing a little bit and stuff. She's brought that in. Her overall presentation and posing has gotten better every show. So even with that, she's gotten better. She's tight enough here. So between now and the Olympia, if I was her, I'd probably just work on adding some more size and some more fullness. So then that way she can come in a little bit tighter and hopefully hang with the bigger girls. I prefer to see the smaller look. I like the smaller look, but I'm sure she got critiqued saying that, she needs more size. So, that's where we're at this point. Again, I think this was a great look for her. I think this was a great win for her. So congratulations and welcome to the Olympia stage. Let's move over to Mile High, which I think is, which one is it? This one? Nope. Is it this one? Nope. It's this one. Yep, it's this one right here. Okay. Okay, so Mile High. Ashley won this again. She lost the title last year to Issa, but she won it the year before. I think she's won it like twice before, maybe 3 times before. I could be wrong. So she won her title back. One thing I'll say before I start going into each of these girls is that I felt like every girl in this show had, like, at least the top 5 had a smaller frame. Ashley has a smaller frame as far as her look is concerned for bikini. And I felt like everybody that stood next to her, compared really well to her, had a smaller frame as well. So I thought that was interesting. I'm not super familiar with most of these girls that were in the top 5. I never would have called them in a preview or anything like that because I don't know them. But they all had relatively small frames in comparison to what we typically see. So I'm just curious to see I'm wondering if this is because Ashley was in this show that they got rewarded this way, or if they go into another show now, if they're going to also get rewarded there. Now, this was 5th place right here. Let me pull her name up. I don't remember her name. Priscilla. And I believe I've seen Priscilla before, but this was a really well-balanced package. It's a pretty package. She's full, she's round, she's tight everywhere. Suit could have fit her a whole lot better. It's kind of bagging right here on the front, and the top is too small for her, just showing a lot here. And I don't know if it's just the lighting or not, but the suit looks like it kind of blends into her skin tone. So I would definitely rethink the suit here. Maybe you go with more of a blue or purple or something like that that'll pop off the skin a little bit more in a different cut, because this cut is dangerously small here and it is bagging on her. So I'd probably do something a little different. But overall shape looks really nice. She's full everywhere. She's round everywhere. She's tight everywhere. She's got some massive calves on her there. I'm looking at the calves here. She's got some calves. Overall, really good look. Back pose. So from the back is where she kind of loses it a little bit. So you can see here, whoops. Her hair is a mess. So guys, make sure that you get your hair on point. She needs some extensions back here to fill it out, get a little bit thicker. Then she's got all the bumpiness going on in the back. If you're going to do your natural hair, you need to make sure that it's full, it's thick, it's healthy, it's shiny, all of that. She could have used a shine treatment here or something, but I probably would still have put in extensions because she's got pretty thin hair back here. And that's like the first thing my eye went to because it looks like it's not healthy, right? I want to see it healthy. Glutes are, in comparison to her legs, her glutes are too small. So I think she needs to kind of tweak her back pose. Her toes are out quite a bit. So I think if she brought her toes in a little bit, that would help. She's also bending over a bit. You can tell just from this back pose, she's bending over. She needs to stand up. The fact that she's bending over is making her glutes look flat. So she needs to stand up tall, tweak the foot position so that her legs don't look quite so thick. And then maybe at that point, maybe I would say she needs more glutes, but I don't know until I see those changes made. Once those changes are made, then I know a little bit better about how her glutes would balance with her legs. Right now, her glutes look flat and her legs look like they're overpowering. So I do think a lot of this is just her pose. So this is how important posing is, you guys. The pose is making a difference here. So I would like to see her change that, tweak it a little bit and see what that does for her, and then determine what you need to do to make the physique a little bit better. But the pose is what needs to change really right here. Next up, we have Alina. And again, I'm not familiar with Alina, but again, another beautiful girl. I'm assuming she's from Europe, I'm guessing. Again, another small frame. You know, when we're looking at these girls in the show, like I said, these girls, every one of these girls has a bit of a smaller frame in comparison to what we typically see. She's a little bit thinner all the way around, but there you go. I mean, that's a thin look, right? So, to me, this is too thin. She's a beautiful girl, again, beautiful girl, but we're looking at really thin arms here, really thin shoulders, really thin through this waistline and everything here. Legs look good. It's the upper body. The upper body's too thin. Again, I don't know where she's from. I would assume probably European. I would assume. I don't know. But this reminds me of like a European look kind of thing. So she just needs to put some size on. She needs to put some size on, specifically on that upper body. But again, she's a gorgeous girl. This reminds me more of a model look than what we currently are seeing in bikini right now. But if you take her and you turn her around, I mean, she's got some good glutes and she's got a great shape from the back. You know, again, she's got some great shape in the back. She just needs more size. She just needs more size, right? You can see how thin her arms look here, right? How thin her back is, how thin her shoulders. If she put another few pounds of muscle on here, this frame would be ridiculous. Ridiculous. She's got some good 3D pop here. She could use a little bit more upper glute, inner glute right here. That would help. Legs are good from the back. You know, I would just overall like to see some more size on her. Top to bottom, more size, right? Because she's got a freaking beautiful look. You know, beautiful shape, beautiful frame. Her delts look crazy from the back. Well, no, her delts are just thin. She's just got, this is her frame. That is her shape. She needs more muscle on top of it. You know, she just needs more muscle on top. This is all just her shape. That's just her shape. That's what I'm saying. If she puts another layer of muscle on top of this, she's going to look ridiculous. So this is a crazy, crazy shape from the back. She just needs more size on it. She needs more meat. She needs more meat on those bones, right? And then she's gonna be one to watch if she can put that size on. You know, if she had my shoulders on that frame, she'd be good. I'll give her some of my shoulders. Yeah, she's genetically very gifted in her shape. She just needs to add some size. Okay. Third place, we have Elizabeth, and I feel like she's done decent in the past. I don't know. She was 11th this year. Did she compete last year? So okay. So she was in Ben Weider last year. Okay. So this is another one where she had a relatively small frame, but I felt like she compared really well to Ashley. Again, each one of these girls I felt like in this top 5 were comparable with Ashley. Ashley does tend to be a little bit on the smaller side. These girls tended to compare pretty decent next to her. So this is a really good shape for her. Where I would say she probably needs some work is bringing that waistline in, right? If she can pull the waistline in a little tighter, add a little bit more upper outer glute. Again, she's got a smaller frame. She's got to add some more upper outer glute here, and open up this chest and get this delt to pop a little bit more. This is a good shape. Again, I think that this is almost like an under pose. I'm wondering if she's not fully posed here. No, that's her full pose. There we go. This is better. Okay, she's up tall. This is her up tall. This is better. That's the difference between being fully in a pose and not. She's fully in her pose here where she's got up and open, and she got the shoulder. All the things I was just saying she needs to do, she's doing here in this particular pose. So she's doing that. See, she's posed here. She's not there. See how she's dropped? And then she's open. Makes a big difference, right? So I would say in her scenario, I think her upper body's good. Maybe add a little bit more thickness into the chest just so you have some more meat up in here. But she needs some more upper outer glute here. If she could add some more upper outer glute to really round out that glute profile from the front, then this would be a really, really good shape for her. Really, really good shape. And then at that point, her waistline doesn't need to be tighter. You know what I mean? So I would say that. I would say that. And then Maya Astabi was in second. So Maya was the first call out last week. Maya's an ex-Olympian. So I know she's trying to get back up there. I do think this is a better look for Maya. This is a good front post position right here for her. I would like to see more fullness still. I do think this is better than what she put on stage a couple years ago, but they're just rewarding more roundness, more fullness in general. So I want to see more. I want to see more shoulders. Like her arms almost overpower her shoulders here, right? She's got some good shape. It's like she needs to pull the arms down and pull the shoulders up. And then I would take this front pose and twist it a little bit more. The green suit does look okay here. I wasn't sure because of the last show that the lighting was all very green as far as the lights were concerned. So I wasn't sure if I liked the green on her or not. It does look okay here. I'm saying okay because I like her better in red. I like the dark red better on her. I just think it looks better. But this isn't a bad color. I just like the other one better, just me personally. I'd also like to see her do a shorter connector in the center and pull these breast pieces in a little bit more. Sometimes with your chest, if you have implants, things like that, it's hard to get the implants to move inward, but you can fudge it with your suit top, and that comes down to a better connector, a smaller connector here in the center to be able to pull that in a little bit. I think that would help her shape. Conditioning wise, I think she's right on. I think she's right on with the conditioning. I wouldn't change anything here. I might adjust this hip strap a little bit to kind of give her the fullness of that glute pop here, because I think we're losing a little bit of it based on where the hip strap is sitting. So I'd probably pull it up a little. And then I just like to see these shoulders round out a little bit. But overall, like this is again a better look than what we were seeing before. There's just a few little tweaks I would make to it. The fullness is nice though. I do like the fullness. She's definitely got some more size on her for sure. Let's take a look at her back pose. So from the back, I just want to see some more fullness in those glutes, right? So she's come a long way. This is a much better shape than what she had. I just want to see some more upper outer pop here. Maybe go a little bit smaller on this suit cut. That might help. I like the suit cut shape itself. But I think if she goes a touch smaller here, that would help her round out a little bit in the top. She should adjust this a little bit. That's probably a posing thing from her front pose. I know my arm does the same thing, so you got to be careful with that. So overall, the back pose is really good, but I think it could be better if she could pop some more glute here. We need some more 3D pop to come out. I'd like to see some more upper outer. If we get more upper outer here, then that's money. Hair, I would like to see it longer. So put some extensions in. I'm okay with these curls, but I want to see a few more curls that come down her back that just kind of shape that back shape a little bit better. But overall, again, like I said, better than what she had before. There's just some tweaks here that can be made and fill those glutes out a little bit. Okay, let's go to Ashley. Doing all right with my voice here. I'm hanging in there, doing my best here, guys. Sorry. For those of you logging on now, I mentioned this at the beginning. I lost my voice over the weekend from talking and screaming and the hotel being all like moldy and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't know if it was mold. It was just in the air. So as far as feeling quads or seeing quad sweep from the back, I don't think that they have more quad sweep. I think it has to do with their posing. In order to get the glutes to pop, you got to manipulate the legs a little bit. And in manipulating the legs a little bit, then you start seeing more legs. So I just know from posing girls, that's what happens. So they don't have more. They're just posing a little differently to try to get the glutes to pop. So, okay. Ashley won the show, which was, pretty much to be expected. She went to the red suit, which was good. I like the red on her a lot better than the green, but I'm still going to critique this suit. And this suit is too big on her. That was the first thing I saw when I saw this. Again, I like the red. I like the curls. I like the look. But this top just looks huge to me. Looks like it goes into her armpit. And then the bottoms look like they're super high on her too. Now, I'm not sure if it's because she has it sitting up high on her hip or what it is, but the bottoms look enormous to me. And so does the top. The top looks like it's too big. I don't know if she's worn the suit before or not, but to me, this just looks really big. So, kudos on going to the red because I like the red better. Absolutely. I like this suit better than the green regardless. I just like to see a little smaller. Front pose is good. Looks like her waistline is tight, but I think she's also posing a little bit more straight on. So there's pluses and minuses to this. When you pose straight on, then you can't see if you have any kind of distension in the lower abs because you're straight on versus to the side. But when you pose this straight on, then you don't see that nice V curve that goes into the shoulder cap. Like I felt like her shoulders were better last week, but her waistline is better this week. So it's like a plus and minus thing. So, excuse me again. Apologize, guys. I'm doing the best I can here. So I kind of liked her pose from last week better. So I felt like it showed her delts. I was trying to say shoulders and delts at the same time. I felt like it showed her delts better last week. I don't think that this really helps her waistline much. I think that the other pose was better. You can see she started to twist a little bit here. So you see what I'm saying? Like she's got more. We need some more fullness here, that upper outer glute. And here we go. Okay, you know what? As I'm clicking through, she's twisting into it more. So I did the same thing in that last girl. She's twisting into this pose a little bit more, and it's getting better. So can you guys see this? Can you see that the fact that now she's twisting into this pose better, it's looking better? I didn't even realize that she did that. So all the things I said about that first pose are still true. She just wasn't fully in her pose yet. Now she is. See the difference? Do you guys see that? Do you see the fact that now she's got more glute pop? She's got more V into her lat and more shoulders. Totally didn't know that was going to happen. Glad I clicked through. It's all about the posing, you guys. It's all about the posing. Look at this. Look at the difference in her pose, right? Oops. Hit the wrong thing. Where'd her picture go? There it is. See the difference? When she's straight on, look at that. She's straight on here. She's straight on. She's straight on, right? Versus when she goes into the pose. Look at the difference. Huge difference. Huge difference, right? So I don't know if this was just her transition, but what I would say if I was her posing coach is I would say I would try not to get into that pose in any of those positions where she was straight on, right? Yeah. Well, tweaks to the back pose are a game changer. Absolutely. The posing is everything, you guys. Posing is everything. So again, what I would say if I was teaching her to pose is I would say hit this. Don't go in those other positions, because obviously the photographer was able to catch those other positions. So that means the judges saw her in those other positions. So I would really focus on making sure that you can hit this pose dead on, right? Whatever her transition is, hit it, right? So there you go. All right. Back pose, pretty much right where it needs to be. Fullness, roundness, tightness, all of that. Again, she's, in my opinion, one of the only ones that can actually pull off this tiny, tiny cut. And even on her, I would still like to see a little bit more fabric, or maybe just I think she just pulled the suit bottom up high. Looks like it's sitting up higher on her this week than it has in the past. So I think that's what she did. So I would just pull this suit back down a little bit because we're seeing bone, right? Can you guys see that? That's something too, that's why I don't like that cut. You can see that bone, that tailbone in the back, right? So I think, and I mentioned this from her front pose, it looked like she pulled her hip strap up from the front pose. So from the back, you can see it's up too high, and it's actually making her glutes look a little shallow. So pull the suit bottoms down. Maybe the suit bottom was just too big on her in general. Maybe the suit bottom was just too big on her. Not in the back, in the front. So that's what I would say. That'd be my critique for her here. I mean, it was a pretty handed win, I believe, just from looking at the pictures and things like that. But like I said, it was a curious show because, again, these girls were all a little bit smaller framed and they all got rewarded. So pretty cool. Let's go to DC. Okay, so DC Pro-Am. Obviously, I was there in person. So 5th place is Raquel. Raquel from Canada. I thought Raquel had a really great look. When I saw her initially come out, I thought that she might be a little bit too small on her upper body. But when she started posing next to everybody, I could see that she actually looked pretty decent as far as her shoulders and stuff like that are concerned. She just has longer legs. So because she has longer legs, she's going to look a little bit bottom heavy because of her actual shape. But she has some nice fullness in her shoulders, really nice fullness in her glutes. I would say she could still add some more upper body, add some more chest and shoulders and things like that. I think that would help because, again, she does have such long legs. But overall, this was a really polished look. It was a really pretty look. So I wouldn't change a whole lot other than I'd like to see her fill out on the shoulders a little bit more. Where she really stood out as far as getting up into that top 5 is on her glutes, the 3D pop with her glutes. So I don't want to go with that close up. Let me see if I can get a decent picture. This one's good. Here we go. So she has a nice pop out this way. That's what we talk about when it comes to 3D. We want it to come out at us. But she has a really good pop here. The pop in the glutes is what will separate you from everybody else, right? If you have this, you're probably going to get up in those top call outs. If you're in condition and you have good 3D pop to your glutes, you're probably going to get up into the top call outs, right? So that's what she's got here. Looks like she's pinching her back pose a little bit. I would open this up a little bit, pull the hair in a little. I don't know if I need to change the hair much as much as I would like to see her shoulders come out just a little bit so that way you could see that V. But that's it. Other than that, I wouldn't change anything here. Just keep working on growing that upper body a little bit to balance you out a little. Next up is Adair. So Adair took 4th. Looks great from the front. I know, just again, I've talked about this. I know that her front pose has been an adjustment because she has a very over-pronounced arch in her back. So her glutes actually arch way back and up, and they look unproportioned when she goes into a full bikini back front pose like that. So I know that they've been working on this to try to correct that. I think it's close. I don't think it's quite there. I still think she's pushing her pelvis forward just a touch too much. I'd like to see it tilt just a little bit, just so the glutes pop up just a touch more in the back. Because right now it looks like her upper body is kind of leaning back a little. But I think from the front, she looks really good. I think from the front, this is where she wins. And again, I would just tilt that pelvis a little bit more, just a little bit, just to get that glute to pop up. Not so much that we overarch it, end up being unbalanced. Where she's going to have to improve in order to get a win is from the back. So, there's some tanning issues here. There were some tanning issues on some of the girls here at this show. But you can just see how different her conditioning from the back is versus from the front. She needs to be a little bit tighter here. She needs to have those upper outer glutes pop more. This could be a posing thing. Excuse me. But I really think it's more so a muscle thing. I think she needs more. She's got some decent 3D, but she just slopes on the outside. So in order for her to get out of the top 3 area and get into a win, she needs to pop those upper outer glutes. So, so with that, I mean, I think that this was a good placement for her, but I'd like to see this back pose tweak a little bit, and I'd like to see her a little bit tighter. I think if she came in a touch tighter, that might help. But I think more so it's going to be a muscle thing. I think she's just going to need to add some more size, upper outer glute here. I'd also like to see more delt from the back, and I think that's more so a posing thing. She looks a little bit crunched up in her back, so I would go in and try and work some mobility stuff going to get that back to open up a little bit more. Because from the front, she doesn't have an issue with the delts. It's from the back. So I think that's a mobility thing. So go in, get somebody to get in there, work you out so that you can open your back up a little bit more. I think that would be a really good adjustment for your back pose here. But yeah, she just needs to work on that back pose in order to get herself up into a winner's circle. Tara, beautiful girl. Again, we've talked about her a few times. Beautiful look, beautiful face, skin tone, all of that was really, really good. Where she is going to struggle is going to be in the waistline. We talked about this last week. In order for her waistline to get tight enough, the rest of her gets too tight. If she has fullness elsewhere, then her waistline ends up being too big. So I think it's a conditioning thing. It's a posing thing. It's all those things have to just come in just right in order for her to get up into the top spot. That waistline's going to be a struggle. She lost some fullness here at this show. I saw her post saying that her feedback was that she was too tight, and I agree. That just makes that shape diminish and everything as well when you're too tight. So it's a tough battle when you're trying to pull a waistline in, right? It's a tough battle to keep that waistline tight and to keep that fullness. It's very, very hard. So let's turn her to the back. And if you remember us talking about her last week, the back pose is good, but her back pose last week was better. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, or you remember from last week. Her back pose was a lot fuller at the Nevada State. Her upper body still looks great. She's got that X frame that looks great, but her glutes have lost some fullness on the upper outer glute here on the outside. And that's from conditioning, trying to be in condition so the waistline's tight. This is where we're talking about she's too conditioned. She's too tight. Because she's too tight, she lost the volume, right? So it's a fine-tuned balancing act, you guys. It's really, really hard to nail this. I liked her glutes and everything from last week better. It was not a bad package. She was just better last week. So I'm not sure what her plan is at this point, but I would take some time to fill back out and then take it from there. See if you can get that waistline in nice and tight and the rest of you nice and full, and that will be your money. So let's go to our winner. Oh, I'm sorry. We're in second place. I'm not winner yet. Sorry. Maria Acosta. So Maria looked great. To me, this was probably the best Maria that I've seen all year. And I've seen her compete in person. This is my third time seeing her in person now. She was nice and tight and full. Waistline was still probably going to be her issue when it comes to standing up next to girls like Jessica. Like, she was in the fight for the win with Jessica. Jessica has such a tiny little waistline. It's going to be hard to overcome that. But this was the best front pose, I think, that I've seen from Maria yet. Again, she was really well balanced, and I felt like she was giving Jessica a little bit of a run for her money in the back, not from the front. I think Jessica definitely had it from the front. But still, this was this is probably the best front pose I've seen on Maria so far. Where Maria drops off is in the fullness in her glutes. So she was able to keep the fullness in her glutes this time. And they did a little extra glaze on her, which helps sometimes. So glaze is a very tricky thing, you guys. Don't think that just because you put glaze on that that's going to make you look fuller. It can actually backfire. So be careful with it. In her case, it actually worked in her favor. Gave her a little bit more pop. This was the fullest I think I've seen her glutes look, and the tightest I've seen her waistline look. So I did feel that from the back, she looked the best I've seen her look from the back, and I could make an argument for Maria here from the back. She's just going to have to keep working to bring that perfect package in, because she's so close. I think for her, this was the best I've seen her look. She's just got to keep doing it. She's got to keep coming back a little bit better every time. That's it. And then we go to our winner, which was Jessica. So, frankly, I felt like from the second that Jessica stepped on stage, this was her show. She was the front runner coming in because she's a two-time Olympian, Masters Olympian, qualified as well. So this bodes really well for her going into the Olympia, the Masters Olympia. She is the only athlete right now who is qualified for the Olympia and for the Masters Olympia. The only one. So she earned her Olympia qualification here, and she was invited to the Masters Olympia as well. So with that, she would likely be your front runner going into the Masters Olympia, right? Jessica and I have become good friends over the last few years, and we had a really good time at the show. So I really enjoyed seeing her win, and I got a little bit emotional myself seeing her win. And one of the coolest things that she said, she's come to our Cuties Conquering the Stage event for 2 years. So she's been out here to the DC area for that event twice. And she told me that when she stepped out on stage here at the DC Pro-Am, she had more people screaming for her at this show than she did even in her hometown. And it was all the cuties. It was all the cuties in the audience there screaming for her. So that made me very, very happy. It touched my heart. So thank you, ladies, for being there to support her as well. I thought that was awesome. And it truly was. I was sitting there at the commentating table and everybody started screaming for her, which I thought was fantastic. And for those of you that don't know, she lives in California. So literally, this is not her hometown, but it felt like it for her, She said it was the coolest feeling. So, yeah, I mean, from the minute she walked on stage, I felt like this was her show. Best I've seen her look from the front. Best I've seen her look from the back. Let's see. Let's get a back shot. Here we go. All right, back shot right here. So she got the back shot pretty much nailed here. The biggest difference between this show and between Vegas, the one that she just did, the Nevada State, is she was just a little bit tighter here, which made all the difference. I mentioned this from the show last week, that she actually had the biggest glutes in the lineup. She did not have the biggest glutes here in this lineup. She was perfectly proportioned in this lineup. She was just a touch tighter. Just a touch tighter, and that's all she needed. So this was a really good, this was the best back pose I've seen Jessica put on stage. So I thought it was a really, really well-deserved win. And I would say the only thing that she needs to really focus on going into the Masters Olympia, is just making sure that she stays rested, stays healthy, and keeps those glutes full, keeps them round, and keeps that upper outer glute popping. If she brings this package to the Masters Olympia, she could be the very first Masters Bikini Olympia champion. quite easily, quite handedly, if she could do this. So I'm excited for her. I'm happy for her. I know all you cuties are happy for her too. So it was awesome to be there to see this happen for her. So that's it. I don't really have any other critiques for her other than just to bring the same package to the Masters Olympia. I think if she brings the same package to the Olympia, she'll be in contention for a top 10 spot. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I wouldn't change much of anything, to be honest with you. I think this is the sweet spot for her right here. And I made it. My voice made it, kind of. Man, you guys, tell you what, when you talk for a living, it's really tough when you lose your voice. I'm like, Lord in heaven, it's so hard. I feel like it's all like right here. So that I can end this out, suit sale right here. We are ending out tonight. This is it. We're done. So if we sell out, we sell out. If not, it closes. So scan it right here. If you haven't looked at it already, go grab. I know, right? I had to push through. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be even better. I tried to rest my voice all day today, so it's definitely better than it was yesterday. She did start late, so she's been competing for, I think, 8 years or something like that at this point. But again, you got to remember, she's the same age as me. She's 41. I'm literally 10 days older than her. So, so yeah, that's pretty cool, right? She's killing it. So with that, you guys, I'm not going to belabor this too much because my voice lasted. So that's my voice lasted. We got there. And again, I'm going to try and keep my voice as rested as possible, so I'll be all right for tomorrow too. But grab the suit sale if you haven't already. Go check it out if you're interested in it. And otherwise, our next show that I will be at will be on PC Universe. I will be doing hair and makeup there. I think I have a few slots still available. So if you need hair and makeup booking, hook me. I can hook you up. That link is in my bio on Instagram. It's also, did I put it in my description on YouTube? I don't even know. It might be in the description. It might not be. But go on Instagram. You'll get it. Our next Sundays with Sean is the 25th, which is right before Universe. So there's that. And then we're into July, where we have Masters Nationals. Yeah, Brandy got herself one for all the posing, right? Masters Nationals in July. We got the Clash of the Titans, and then we have Tampa. So again, hair and makeup at any of these shows. So Tampa Pro-Am. I will be there for the Masters. I've had a few people ask me about that. Masters is on Thursday at Tampa Pro. I will be there for that. So if you need hair and makeup for the Masters, I'll be there. National Fit Show. And then we're into North Americans. Then we're into September. So that takes us through the rest of the summer. So can't believe I just said that, the rest of the summer. Summer hasn't even really started, you guys. But anyway, hope you guys had a great weekend. I'm not going to labor this anymore so I can take my voice off the air. But I'll be back again tomorrow night. We'll preview this coming weekend shows. There's a bunch of shows coming up. So I'll see you back here tomorrow. Grab your suit sale if you haven't already. That's it. You guys have a great night. All right? Good night, you guys.